All right, FA podcast. We are in full mode here. We've been ripping through podcasts. I got another great guest and another great partner. So tell you all about them in a second. But first, as we get the FA podcast going, make sure you like us, follow us, hit up our social, everything, even TikTok. Hit over to our YouTube channel, and that's where you can watch all the other podcasts as well. We put them up on YouTube because we do video. So you can check out that and the Last Pass web series, all our hunting episodes when we travel the country. So, and it's all great it all happens because of great people like Federal Ammunition and, of course, Roger Sporting Goods and Weatherby and, of course, Leupold. And we got my buddy Skipper on from Leupold. And hey, Skipper, I was just going through my 1974 like directions on my scopes. I remember sharing this with you, and I'm like, this is so old, but it's sitting on like my podcast desk, so figured you'd get a kick out of that. Just in case you need to go back a little bit, and check. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you got to
My
go back and look at what you were so you can kind of appreciate what you are now. And Mario, I mean, for you in 74, shooting a loophole, you'd have probably been using see-through rings on a driven hunt somewhere in Pennsylvania, and you
well,
shot the first button buck you saw.
I can tell you what I was shooting. I can tell you exactly what I was shooting. I was shooting a 308 with open sights on the bottom, scope on the top. So in case you needed to use, the open sights because it was a bush gun. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. If he was a spike, if he was a forky, whatever you saw first,
He,
guy.
he was he was for sure getting it, right? So, and that's how I was brought up. My dad shot 30-06. He had one, so that's what this is probably from. It's probably from the 308 or the 30-06. So pretty, yeah. Let's take a step back in time, right? Uh, Moving forward in time, like obviously we'll talk about what's new with you guys and what's going on. And then I'm gonna kind of go through as we talk, I'm gonna kind of go through what I'm using because obviously waterfowl guys are different. I mean, you're a waterfowl guy, you're also an anything guy, right?
Mhm.
Me, I take care of predators and use the scope and use it on my 223. That's my extent. Like I've shot one deer in my life, which was a Chinese water deer over in England, which was super cool. But I have zero interest in like shooting a deer or anything else. Just at this moment in my life, I don't care. You know what I mean? So, um, but so let's start here, Skipper, because this is my favorite pair of my favorite anything of you guys is uh is these, and that's the freaking big boys. So that is my uh, BX5 Sanny Ams, and it's 15 by 56. And these are giant. And these are in the truck all the time because I don't need to pack them. I don't care how heavy they are. I want the biggest pair that gives me the most view. You know what I mean, for my scout. You know what I mean, for in the truck.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
go ahead.
I was gonna say the BX5 Sanny Ams are our very best binocular at the moment, our top of the line, our professional grade optical system, fantastic low light performance. You're getting edge to edge
Yep.
clarity, and
Yep.
those 15 powers. You could run them in addition to a spotting scope, but a lot of folks are actually running them in lieu of a spotting scope. Spotter's a little bit bigger, bulkier, more to carry
Yep.
around. You have to have the tripod, unless you want to be that goofball that everyone's laughing at on the side of the road.
For sure.
So the 15s, yeah, you can put them on the dashboard of your truck when you're scouting fields. Go ahead
Yep.
and slow down, make a stop. Just brace, use your window to give yourself a little bit of leverage and get a pretty good look. And the 15 power is just fantastic. It just really allows you to see things that with the 10, you're just not going to see and pick out details. Some
Agreed.
guys are specific species hunters. Some guys are driving around looking for neck bands or bands on the leg.
There,
You can do
there's
that with
no, there's no doubt. Like I am the unluckiest person when it comes to like goose hardware. So, and for us out here in the Northwest, like you spot a collar, we're hunting it for sure. If it's not like a 8 mile walk in 4 feet of mud and pushing the cart, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what we get here. You know,
We'd still push the cart all the way in, only to
we
miss
probably
the
would.
bird. Everyone would come up on go at the same time and shoot the birds on his left and his right, and then he'd fly away.
Or we'd probably shoot the collar off, break it in pieces, shoot his leg off with the band, never find it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
or even better, everyone would shoot him and everyone would claim him. I've been in duck camps with you
Mm.
before. That's almost come to fisticuffs.
Yeah, that's not our group. You've seen our group. We're pretty laid back. We don't care.
Yeah, this
So,
was a different group of people. You were there.
yeah. Um, so yeah, like I said, this isn't a pair that you'd want to pack, around. I mean, you could, I guess, like you said, instead of a spotting scope, like you could do that. But as far as like in the truck, this is like my favorite pair. Once I went to this, like I've always been a like an all around 10 by 42 guy, and we'll go there in a little bit because it has a different application. Once I put these in a truck and used them, once the first time I looked in them and I was looking in a field and I put them up for geese and oh, I was like, yeah. And I've had this pair for a few years. Like it just stays in the truck and it just literally, that's my go-to. So I'm so used to these. And like, just listen, just like standing here holding them, like how heavy they are. Like, yeah, it's heavy, but you know what? In the truck, it don't matter. So I want to
Yeah,
be able to see everything that I could see in the truck when we're out. And I've used them countless times. They're invaluable. So that's what I roll with. So I don't know if there's an upgrade or something new in that. You know what I mean? Like I said, since I've had those a while, but I love them. So I don't know if there's anything that you guys changed or did on that that size or that space.
no, we haven't played with the space in a little bit. They're still the very best we've got. We've got some accessories. Obviously, they ship with like a tray that'll mount to a tripod if you want to put them on a tripod, or
Yep.
maybe attach that same tray to a window mount if you've got a window mount.
Yep.
We also have like a stem that will attach again to the tripod or a window mount that will plug right into the front of that binocular. Just give you that way you don't got to try to even fight with them in the truck. Give you a real steady rest if you intend to sit up there for a while and pick through the birds in the field, or
Yeah.
go ahead, while you're doing that, go ahead and look over at the blacktail in the back that Mario is certainly not going to shoot, but you might be looking to shoot when that season comes around.
Don't care. I'm just like, oh, the dog's probably going to chase it. So, yeah, probably not. Not going to care. You
Well,
know,
no, knowing Jet, he would definitely chase it.
for sure. River's probably like, hey, and we'll intro River here when she's ready, but it'll be like, oh, look, I have a friend to play with. Oh,
Oh
that
yeah,
looks like fun. Huh?
oh yeah. As a golden retriever, her stance on most things, if not friend, why friend shaped?
Is she laying around about or where's she at?
Oh, she's right behind me. Come here, Riv. Come on,
Yeah,
come on,
let's get Riv up on.
up here. Come on,
Oh, there she is.
come on, all the way. Come on, all the way.
Oh, River.
Come on.
There she is.
There we go.
She's so and she is exactly what a golden is supposed to do.
Oh yeah,
Supposed to get
no,
in your lap,
my shadow.
right? River, what are you doing? Hey, he knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
she was a puppy, it was wild. She could not quite figure out podcasts, and she just assumed I was talking to her. And she'd
Oh,
be staring at me like, I don't understand any of these words, but I'm assuming you're talking to me.
yeah, I'm all excited. Like I'm getting nice words. I'm getting a nice tone, right?
Yeah.
Being so good. Being so
These are none
good.
of my command words. But yeah, she's been
Yeah.
working a lot with old Uncle James, obviously
Oh
friend of
yeah.
the program. James
This will
McDonald.
be this
She's,
will
she's
be like her first this will be like her first season, really.
oh yeah, and she's just about ready. We've been shooting pigeons,
Yeah.
dead ones, live ones, quadrants. Come on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Which is awesome. So good. I
she's
can't wait.
just about there. She's a golden. She's a little soft, and she's certainly not going to run through a brick wall, but she'll go get that bird.
I can't wait. You know, half the fun will be watching her and Dingaling, her and Jet run around for like, oh, I don't know, the first half hour of while we get ready, running into each other, falling over. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good fun.
It's funny how much Jet nothings her too, because River again is like, "You must be my new best friend," and Jet's like, leave me alone."
Oh, and I'm like, that's payback for when you were a little pecker and wanted to annoy everybody. You know what I mean? That's what he gets.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You
But
know?
we'll get her out there. We'll have a good time, and even if she can't quite get it on her first couple of go rounds, we'll have a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for her just to get like a season under her belt and get started. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of
Absolutely.
pumped there. I'm pumped. Um, okay, so then let's move on to something that I end up using. So okay, that's for the truck. So the 10 by 42s, and I just have the BX4 Pro guides, right? So, and the other thing let's talk about is you guys have, I think, world class packaging. Okay. Premium packaging. Like when you get the binoculars, you get the case, you get the lanyard, to go around your neck, you get the cleaning cloth, like you get everything. And it just looks premium. So I will say that. And you guys have been like that for a long time. So that's the cool thing about that. Um, so something smaller, and it's what, we talk about with James, like James, who helps us dog train. James always has a pair of binoculars. He is like the binocular king. Sometimes I don't take him if I'm going to be in a layout, just if we're like not far, like we don't have far to look. We're not worried. James always has a pair, and he always has 10 by 42s. I went to the 10 by 42s for in the boat,
Hmm.
and I just keep them in the boat. So, you talk about all the places you're going to need something. It's in the boat because we're talking big water. Like when we're in the boat, it's usually big water. So we might be scouting more before we hunt. We might scout after. We might scout in the middle because it ain't going well. I mean, you've been there, so you've seen it all. So, for the dollar and like bang for your buck, these are pretty these are pretty killer.
Oh yeah, the BX4 Pro Guide HD, and those are the Gen 2s you're holding, and I've got a set
Yeah.
of the 12 powers here in front of me.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic binocular. They came out in 2024. Upgrade to the BX4 HD Pro Guide line. And
Awesome.
what we did is we took kind of our second tier binocular. They fall below the BX5 Santiam, and
Right.
we improved every bit of it. The optics did get better. The glass is better. The clarity is better. The glare reduction is better. All of that is improved. The armor's improved. Has a real nice feel to it.
Yeah.
Easy on the hands, easy to grab. You've got 8 powers, 10 powers, 12 powers. And another cool thing we added, and this is perfect because you've got a different setup than me, looking at what you're holding in your hand there,
For
is
sure.
mouth cups. They're you can switch them out. They're
I
replaceable.
do I do like those. And I don't know why I like those, but I do, for the ones in the boat. I don't know. I think it's because, and I'm looking up something just to double check. What I think is it just literally keeps like the light out, because we're usually pretty bright, you
Hmm.
know, not not sunshine bright, just like, I'm just getting other light in and I want to be closed off. So these to me, I don't know. For some in the truck, I don't mind because I'm enclosed, but outside in the boat, I don't know. I like those cups. I
Yeah,
like them
the,
a
the
lot,
the winged ones they are fantastic. For very bright situations, and on the boat, obviously you're getting light reflection off the water,
for
so you're
sure.
getting coming at you from all angles. So they block everything out, let you really focus. This set right here has got the standards on it at the moment, but I'm going to hurry up and peel those off
Yeah. Yeah.
and put
Take
in
your
tips
time. We
on
got
them.
time.
Yeah, and
I ain't
these
going nowhere. I'm having a
the-
coffee. I'm relaxing.
these come off fairly easily, and they're
Mm-hmm.
good. They're good, tough rubber. You're not going to tear them up by taking them on and off a couple times. No big deal. What I'm going to put on there are the lows. So
Oh,
and the lows are really kind of made for people like me, wear eyeglasses.
there you go.
Am I going to be able to block out all rays of sun and all like that, like you would with the wingtips? No, but as I wear glasses, I don't really have that option. But
Right.
with these, I can really improve my field of view
And you
by
can get right up on them.
getting right up on them. Because, like I said, with eyeglasses, that's what I've got to do.
Right.
A lot of folks out there wearing glasses, the lows are perfect for them. Like I said, you've got your standards, which are going to fit a lot like most binoculars you probably own, and then the winged
For
ones
sure.
are great for really dialing in and focusing.
Right. Yeah. I think as far as, and we've had this conversation before. I feel like if you wanted a pair, if you wanted something that was all around, I would have to say 10 by 42 is your all around, power.
Mhm. So yeah, the 10 by 42, it's a top seller worldwide in binoculars. It's just that perfect balance of weight, of field of view, of magnification. But there's no reason to own just one set of binoculars, right? You're talking about leaving a set in the boat, which is usually the better bet versus always taking them in and out, because then what happens, you get out in the middle of the river and you don't have them.
There's no doubt.
Having a truck set, another great option. That way, again, they're always there, they're always ready, so you can scout a field. You're not pulling stuff out of your blind bag. And then having your go-to set, whether it's what you want to have with you in the field, whether you're a duck hunter or a big game hunter, just
Yeah,
keeping it covered. And that's one of the reasons we have so many options. Again, because the BX4 and the BX5 maybe are top tier stuff, but we've also got our BX1s and BX2s.
sure.
So all in 8 power, 10 power, 12 power, a lot of different kind of variable magnification. So we've got just about every situation and every possible, home covered.
Well, sure. And listen, like you said, it's what are you, what's your best bet for what you're doing? Like I said, that pair of the 15 by 56 is in the truck. The 10 by 42s are in the boat or in my blind bag. Or so it's like, what are you using them for? What do you need? What's the power you think you need? And like, listen, sometimes it comes down to price. Like, hey, I'm only going to use these a couple times a year. I want something small to stick in my blind bag, and it's just going to stay in there. And I just need it for like whatever. And I don't need 15 by 56 because we're going to be in a field and I just want to, maybe I want to watch birds coming from a certain area. You know what I mean? And I just need something that gives me a good enough glass that I can see, okay, birds are coming, instead of hearing them before, what I mean? Or whatever. Like you guys have a pretty wide range of options, especially, like you said, on the binoculars. And, we talk about it, anytime we're talking about anything, if you want information, you can go to leupold.com. You can go over there to Leupold. You can go to Rogers Sporting Goods, which we sell, we sell an enormous amount of stuff there. They sell an enormous amount of stuff at Leupold. So you could always go there and check, and everything we just talked about, they have. So, so that's like, is there, so with the 15 by 56 and then the 10 by 42, is there anything binocular wise, you know what I mean, that is new that, maybe is something that, somebody who's more advanced or is a big game guy or just wants top of the line, what's new in binoculars this year? Anything that, we need to know about?
So the last couple of years, we have expanded our range finding binocular line.
Oh
We've
yeah.
got the BX4 Range HD and the BX4 Range HD Gen 2. They are a bit heavier, but they're going to include, the range finding technology. We've
Right.
got the absolute fastest, most accurate range finding solution on the market. If that is something you're in need of, and there absolutely are valid reasons to want to be able to range things, even if you're scouting for birds. Know how
For
far out in the
sure.
field something is.
Yeah.
That we have those options available. Fantastic glass in those. A lot of range finding binoculars because you have to have that display in front of you, right? The display still has to come up. They
For
tend to
sure.
get like a bluing around the edges. You'll see like a blue or a gray start to creep in, and what you're seeing is essentially the display because it has to be between you and the end of the glass in order for you to see those numbers.
Right.
But we worked really hard, and you're not going to see that with ours. It's still crystal clear, and you're going to get that LED display.
So you won't get that. Okay. That's awesome. Like me personally, do I need that? Not really. Is that something cool to have? For sure. You know what I mean? Like, like rangefinder wise, I'm sure you guys have upped your game there too. I still have, I have one that's always in my blind bag, and people will be like, why would you keep a rangefinder in your blind bag or whatever? And I'm always to the point of I can tell somebody who's hunting with us, I don't know, maybe they're new, maybe they just need something to focus on for distance. Because
Mhm.
I always feel that hardest thing for, you know, novice bird hunters or folks who are just getting out at a good time, they're not as serious or whatever. I always think distance is always the hardest thing for them to tell. You know what I mean? So I pull out the rangefinder and I say, okay, do you see the pintail decoy on the water, right in front of us? Yeah. Okay, that's 25 yards, right? So and I range it, I check it, and I or whatever, it's 26 yards. Anything on that pintail close to it you can kill. You know what I mean? Or if we're in a field and we're goose hunting, and it's like, hey, the last goose decoy that we have on this upper edge on the right side is the wind's blowing and they're going to come from left to right. Like it's 35 yards. So anything in from that decoy, you're good to go. That's what I end up using it for. And I think, it helps me, but it also helps everybody that we're with. I just think it gives everybody a lot more confidence because I just don't think that's something people really focus hard on is that distance. And I think that's hard to judge, especially in the heat of the moment, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the number of times, whether it's a young hunter or just a new shooter, right? The number of times after a volley, you can ask them, how far away do you think those birds were? And they have no idea.
Agreed. Agreed. Like the funniest thing is I don't think you've been down to Summer Lake before down south here. But they literally like when the snow geese are in, they literally have in the parking lots, they have like these metal signs that are cut out snow geese, right? Like coming down. And it's the same pose and it's like shows you yardage on how far and it's like, you see how small, say the, 60-yard snow goose looks.
Mhm.
Because if you didn't put the yardage on there, guys would be like, oh, that's 40 yards. And it's like, that's 60. So I think that's always a plus to have. Um, listen, if you hunt a spot all the time, you could always walk it off. You know what I mean? If it's a walk-in place and you could wade the whole way. But in the boat, like, you've been in the boat with us, you can't wade out. You can't wade out into the channel, on how deep it is. So picking up the rangefinder and going, okay, the decoy we set, that one's a little too far. So anything within that, we're shooting or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it gives a good perspective for, novice guys who don't get out a lot, or somebody who just really wants to know their range and they're like, okay, I'm good to go right there. I think it's a huge, I don't know, I think it's not utilized as much, I guess. Maybe it's me.
It's a valuable tool, and one I've got sitting here is a newer one we do have in the range finding game. It came out May 24,
Okay,
so it's the RX 5000. And we tend to be on the nose with how we name products, so, especially the rangefinder. So when I say
for sure.
RX 5000, it's going to range with its long range mode out to 5,000 yards.
Oh my God.
Very valuable tool. Obviously, not many duck hunters are going to use that part of it, but there is a really cool feature in the 5000 that I want to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
today.
let's hear it.
So we have a new feature in this, and it's exclusive to us right now. It's called pinning. So you were able to connect the RX 5000 to a new app we have on the phone called the Leupold Control app.
Get out.
We open her up.
Come on.
I don't have, you can't see a whole heck of a lot at the moment, but
Yeah,
that's
that's all right. I can see it.
that's the
Yeah.
Leupold Control app.
Okay.
And once I get it configured and get them connected, it's a Bluetooth connection between the phone and the rangefinder. So
Okay.
say I had my window open and I ranged across the way, it would drop a pin in either OnX, Apple Maps, or Google Maps. I can select which one of the three. It would drop a pin in my phone of what I ranged. Leave a little loophole logo in OnX. That's obviously probably the better option because of how advanced OnX is. But if you don't use OnX, you have Apple and Google as well in there.
Right.
Drops a pin. So from a bird hunter's perspective, if you are out scouting, right, you want to know, okay, how far away is that little water hole? How far away is that drainage they were in? My
Right.
dad, who right now is hunting, is waiting for pheasant season to open in South Dakota.
Right.
He'll go out and look at public land and private land, range where he's seeing these birds, and then determine, okay, that's a public land spot. I can go. He'll look at his map and be like, yep, that's public land. I can go hunt it. Or,
Right.
well, if I want to hunt that, I'm going to have to go knock on some doors and ask permission.
Right.
Because OnX will obviously show you the property owner, so you can decide
For
if
sure.
that's someone you want to go talk to or not.
Well, and if say say I saw an animal on a hillside that far away,
Mhm.
and I at least clicked on, that, and I mean that's far, but I could click on that ridge, that where that animal's kind of at, however far it is. I'm saying not 5,000, but whatever, however far, and it drops a pin, then we can go and hump over to that pin and try
Mhm.
to get above the pin, below the pin, or wherever we need to go. So, I mean, I'm sure that's freaking valuable for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I was just speaking to it from the bird hunter's perspective, but in the big game realm, you've got even more uses, whether it's getting to the animal you're hunting
Right.
or potentially recovery, right? So say I shoot from one ridge to another and I know I hit the elk. I
Oh,
hear the hit, I see him take the hit, then he runs into the brush because he's wounded. When you hump over there, everything's going to look different. But if you
well, and it
range
might
where
be
you're
dark.
not,
It might be
yeah,
dark when you get there. Like you've been there. I've
yeah,
only heard the
range
stories, right?
range the hole or the tree where you shot at. It's going to drop that pin. You can get over to the pin and then start looking for the elk, and you know you're right there within the right ballpark.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love that. I do think uh the plus of using that for the bird hunters is like you said, like, okay, I see that water hole. I might want to know like how far that is to hump in, right? And then I might want to look at OnX when it pulls up and go, is there like, so say I'm on this road, maybe there's a shorter path from another, range road or what, you know what I mean? So I think that's killer to have
Mhm.
as an option, and another, like we always talk about, like another tool, like that's killer for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, let's face it. If you're scouting, even any out in the Midwest or up in Canada where it's just big open squares, tracts of land, right?
Yeah.
You might be looking a half mile at this flock of birds you've got sitting there. So you don't have a great aerial view, but with this, you range them, it's going to drop a pin on the birds or the water hole or whatever you wanted to see. You bring
Right.
up your phone and you're going to be able to look like, okay, that's maybe where we could set up based on this wind or that wind. This
Yeah.
is where I think they're going to go tomorrow. You can start scouting and making plans.
Well, and you would have never, I mean, you've been in some of those wide open spots, right? Where it's like, they might be in the middle of a field, and that field might be, I mean, that might be a mile long. And it's like you saw them go in, you range where they're at, and it's like, okay, is there a better way to get in there? And then you can go, okay, whose property is it? Like there's so much added value to that, because it could be like you could have ranged them and you like, hey, we have permission on this property, but say you range them, it could be on a different piece of property,
Hmm.
way, you know what I mean, way out there, and you're like, we were going to get permission on this, but they're not in this field, they're in somebody else's. So I mean, that will help, you not running into a, you know conversation with somebody that you're trespassing and you didn't mean to, or what, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you can be way more accurate. So I think that's freaking killer. Now you got me all jacked up. Now I got to get one of those.
Yeah, well, you might know a guy. We can get you set up.
I just got the old one that only goes out to 1,500 and whatever, you know what I mean?
It doesn't
Um,
have any mapping or anything good.
no, like, yeah, it's junk. I might as well just give it to the kids. They'll play with it. You know what I mean? Um, one of the things that I'm pretty impressed with and is the eyewear. And I mean, I want to get into the eyewear because first of all, the eyewear comes in like a super cool box. So then you open the box and you're like, oh, it's like a box inside a box, and then another box. And then it comes in the cool case, and you zip that bad boy open, and then everything's, in a pouch. You got your cleaning cloth that you can put in there. Um, I have to say, I'm terrible with, and I'm going to call just in general sunglasses. These aren't sunglasses. These are more, right? It's protective eyewear. That's also sunglasses. So I will say I've always avoided expensive sunglasses because it's like, I'm going to break them. I'm going to sit on them. I'm going to lose them. They're going to fall off me in the boat. They're going to go in the lake. Like they're going to fall in the river. Like I've always avoided it. So I've always been like the $10 sunglass guy because I'm like, I got a bunch of pairs because I know I'm going to smash it.
Mhm.
I can say, I don't know when was the first year of eyewear. Do you know that offhand? Because
First year of eyewear, I want to say it was 19.
so, so I'm telling you right now, I've had, and I know I got a pair the first year. So I literally just demoted a pair of mine because I ended up scratching them because I did something stupid. So now they're just like chainsaw, lawnmower, trimming glasses, safety glasses. But that's me. That's my fault. But I haven't done anything to any other pairs that I have, and I just think they're just freaking indestructible. So I'm pretty jacked. Like I'm really impressed on how long the eyewear has held up. Um, I, me personally, I like the Cheyennes or the pack outs just because the way they fit. Like I don't have much here underneath for anything to get in and side. So I think these are the Cheyennes. Let me put my, yeah, these are the Cheyennes. So
Get
the
your readers
Cheyennes
on
and the
there.
pack outs, but huh?
Get your readers on there, old fella.
My cheaters. So so listen, there's a ton of styles. It depends on what you like, but that's like what I like the most. And I just found myself, listen, we don't get a ton of sunshine out here you know, in the Pacific Northwest. But when I'm traveling and when I'm going that like everywhere else, I just see myself wearing them way more than I ever wore, you know, sunglasses or eyewear ever. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I'm using them, whatever it is. Like we were just, if we're doing work, if I'm freaking, you know, cutting something with a cutoff wheel or I'm in the shop or whatever, like I just grab those because they are rated as protective eyewear. And I think you guys have got that message across pretty good, but they are pretty indestructible. I'm pretty happy about that. I think you guys are absolutely murdering
Well,
that
so
category.
like everything we make, it's they're built to last. They're tough. They're hard to break, and everything in the eyewear line is made from ballistically rated materials. About half the frames are ANSI rated. Both the ones you rattled off are ANSI rated, and that means
Yep.
they have a little bit more of that wraparound coverage. So
Yep.
nothing leaving the side and hit you in the eye.
Yep.
The other more lifestyle frames, still made from ballistically rated materials. They just have a little less protection here on the sides.
Right.
Um, one cool new thing we've rolled out in the eyewear that again I'll have to get you because I think it would be the right fit. This year we launched our Daylight Max lenses. And what the
Oh,
Daylight Max lenses are designed to do is actually allow a little more light transmission, a bit more light
okay.
transmission. And the idea is they would be useful at, anytime there's really low light, so early morning or in the evenings, low light situations where you still want polarization, where for you, for example, driving your boat in the morning.
I was just gonna say that because driving the boat, like driving the boat sucks. I've tried a lot of things. Uh, And so that would be killer because I think that's something if anybody is doing that, like you said, driving the boat, driving the four-wheeler, driving the side by side, something without a windshield or whatever else is going on, like that's huge. Um
Mhm.
and I mean, geez, like I mean, for how much like no light we get out here,
Mhm. Yeah, and
that's an all day thing.
when you do still have some glare going on, but you want that polarization, right? You want to be able to see the shallow parts of the river. You want to see that little bump in the terrain that's going to roll your four wheeler if you're not ready. It's going to these lenses are going to let a little bit more light through. So they've they've absolutely got a place with the hunter, but obviously great place with the fisherman as well. Great for
For
sight
sure.
fishing, who are actually looking to see the fish in the water before they cast at them, things like that. And
Oh
I know
yeah.
a lot of bird hunters will get out and fish in the summer, so there's some carryover use. So I'll have to get you a couple sets for the boys on the boat in the mornings because I bet they're going to be pretty valuable.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I for sure, like even fishing in the summer, like, I think that's a huge thing. And I've seen you guys kind of pushing that category too, like onto the fishing guys, because, you know, I think, that's a huge space for those guys, like that category. I mean, you know, there's, there's so many sunglasses in that arena and that category, but I'm not sure they're rated as high as, what you guys are rated ballistically and all that other stuff. Like that's, that they're just sunglasses. You know what I mean?
No, we
So
are performance eyewear. We're the whole package, right down to the packaging, and
for
our
sure.
packaging is important to us across all product lines. We're big on customer elevation and a square deal. Our founder Frederick Leupold was big on offering the customer a square deal, and we carry that through to today, where everything we do is going to be at the very top of its tier.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with that. Like that's one thing that I'm always, listen, you guys are, you know, 15 minutes from my house, you know what I mean, where the office is. And I'm pretty proud that company is here in Oregon and what you guys do and how professional, like you said, and how professional and how premium everything looks like. Like there's not a lot of brands. Listen, you could just jam something in a clamshell and put a card in there and say, yeah, we're killer, or whatever it is. Like it just, like I said, when you get it, you just feel really good about the purchase and how it comes to you. You know what I mean? So I think that makes a huge difference. I really do. And like you said, it's for the customer. You know what I mean? And I'm excited about that. So I just appreciate all the cool packaging and the cool stuff that you guys do. I think it's just I love it. I'm proud to be from here where you guys are. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty neat.
No, yeah, and we are too. And people ask all the time, like, "Hey, are you going to stay in Oregon?" Because of the great many things going on in the world. But yes, we absolutely we love Oregon. We've been here since
Yeah,
1907. This is home to 750 hardworking Americans in that factory, and we are going to keep fighting for the fishing here, the hunting here, the shooting here, and we're
for
going to keep
sure.
making great products here.
If anybody, you can go on loophole.com. You can go back to a couple seasons ago when we did the tour at Loophole. And I could tell you, listen, I've done the tour. I've been there countless times. Um, there's high level security things there and things you can't really show and can't really talk about for certain things, but like the thing that always impresses me is like when you guys say, like okay, let's just take a range, like this is durable, and this has been like this product has been like the hell has been beaten out of it, and it still worked, in the mad scientist lab where stuff gets tested. I just think that is way above testing standards for what everybody else does. There's a difference. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think that, that packaged with obviously quality, how you guys present yourselves, like packaging, like everything about it is I'm like I said, I'm proud to partner up with you guys and I'm proud of the company. I think it kicks ass and I think it's just yeah, I think you guys are legit. So if anybody's looking for anything or looking for something, you know, premium, entry level, high end, like there's a pretty wide range. So, and I mean, God, we didn't even talk like rifle scope, so we might as well. I mean, we've hit everything else. Like, we might as well. If there's anything new there that you want to talk about? I mean, listen, like I said, I don't have much. I only have like I don't know what I have on the 223. I think I just have like a VX. I have five. I don't know what I have on there, and I don't need to shoot that far. I'm just shooting coyotes when I shoot them, or whatever else. Anything that is kind of pestering the ducks, or when we're predator hunting or whatever. So it's not major for me, but Is there anything new in that category for you guys this year?
For sure, for sure. And I just got to say, obviously your listeners know you well. They see you in all the episodes, but you remain the only person I've ever met in my entire life who gets more excited when a crow flies over than when he sees a trophy deer.
Oh, yes, buddy. Let's drive by the big deer to get to the crows.
Yeah.
See ya.
It can be the slowest duck day in the world, but if one crow flies over, you're on it. You are on it.
The day is made. The day is made. I'm built a little different. Maybe it's all that PA in me.
It's got to be something. But yeah, and I was going to say, we'll have to get you on another tour of the factory sometime soon. There are a few things obviously we can't always show the public, and
Yeah.
that you are a VIP as you are one of our only visitors who like knew Biggie Smalls, so you're pretty important.
I, I'm gonna get like a patch. Maybe I get like a badge or something. Maybe I get like a badge. Hey, hold on, my computer's dying. I gotta go over here and plug it. I forgot to plug it in. Hold on.
Got to plug in the computer. Unbelievable.
Rookie move. I
I
plugged
thought
in
this was a
everything else.
professional outfit.
Hold on. Plugged in everything else, bro. What do you want? Okay.
I thought this was a professional program I was on today.
Bro, you thought wrong. If you thought things were professional. Come on, bro. You know what this goat rope is always like. You've been here.
That's fair. That's fair. But on the rifle scope side, I
Yeah,
won't bother folks too long. Obviously, this is a more bird hunting driven podcast.
it's all right.
But we did roll out updates to both the VX5 HD and the VX6 HD this year, the VX5
Okay.
HD Gen 2 and the VX6 HD Gen 2. Now, what we did to each was the same. So, what I have here in front of me is a VX5 HD Gen 2, but the updates I'm going to cover are identical in the VX6 HD Gen 2.
Gotcha.
First thing we did, we tweaked the adjustments. They are now competition grade adjustments. So real fine. They sound and feel great, incredibly accurate, out to distance. We also changed the main tube here a little bit. We have an asymmetrical main tube, so what you're going to get is more travel for guys that are dialing up for longer shots.
Okay.
Rather than hold over if you're dialing out to extended ranges, you're going to get a little more elevation travel in your scope here.
I gotcha.
Also got the new speed set dial. So you're familiar with our CDS dial where we can send you the custom dial cut to your
Yep,
look and all that.
for sure.
Previously, to swap out the dial, you had to have an Allen wrench, uh, take the three little, very tiny, very annoying screws out, take it
Right.
off, put the new one on, put three very tiny, annoying screws back in. And did we all do it? Yes, but it was frustrating because it was easy to lose an Allen wrench, misplaced
Or a
it,
screw.
or a screw.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
now we have the speed set dial where I'll make a quick adjustment here. And then if I want to reset it, I activate that lever, turn it back, and I'm good to go. No Allen wrench, no screws.
Oh, that's killer.
So
That's killer. I
decreasing
like.
all time and frustration on the range. And then
Oh,
lastly, you're getting this integrated throw lever here in the back.
I
So
love that. I have that on mine, and I love that. I really do because that makes me be able to zoom in and zoom out, especially if we're hunting at night. And I just gotta. I'm already on the scope, and I gotta come in or out because somebody else is on the light, or I have the light going on the gun as well, and I gotta come out quick or in or whatever. So
mhm.
I think that's killer for sure. But all the other stuff, holy crap! Just that change is epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we took the best hunting scopes in the industry, we made them even better. You're still getting a professional grade optical system, the best low light performance in the world. I have seen both of these scopes up against some very, very expensive European competitors, and I've seen us outperform them in low light every single time. And I know that's a big claim, and it's hard to true out because it's going to require your listeners to take a couple different scopes out at about 5 o'clock in the morning and start looking. But I would encourage them to do so, and they will start seeing the real difference.
Yeah, I listen, I agree. I think some of the stuff that you guys are coming with is pretty kick-ass. So I think that's killer. Um and the rifle scopes, like I said, like my God, my dad who's passed, but my dad had every rifle had a loophole on it. You know what I mean? So because that was what you were supposed to have. Like if you had a serious gun, if you had a serious rifle, that's what you had. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And that made the rifle for sure. So
Oh,
you
the
guys
gold
definitely
ring
live
is
up.
synonymous with the elite hunter, the top of the pyramid, and
Yeah.
it's been that way for decades now. And I'm very proud to work at a company that's been around that long. I mean, we've been building rifle scopes longer than a lot of our competition has existed.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the durability, like, listen, we talk about that, and like I talk about that testing room, and what the scopes get tested and go through, and like it's ridiculous. And you listen, your guys' customer service and everything else is like everything else you guys do. It's premium, it's top notch. You take care of the customers for sure, but like the stuff that you can put a scope through and it not even skip a beat, like you guys
Mm.
have that thing, you know locked in for sure. So durability is like it's premium for sure. Is there anything is there anything new this year that we're missing in anything? Listen, guys can show their love and buy some swag and get some hat shirts and all kind of stuff. You guys have a whole line of like apparel and some bags and some other stuff. Like you guys definitely step that up as well. But is there anything that I'm missing that maybe isn't just, for a waterfowl guy or a bird hunter? I don't think so, but
No, we've hit all the big ones, including the rifle scopes, which I know aren't the
yeah,
best application here. Yeah, we've got some great new pro gear, some performance gear as well, some performance hoodies,
yeah.
jackets, vests, things like that. Some great new hats too, and logo tees, different brand tees, and all that stuff. Yeah, if you've got a Sportsman's Warehouse or a Shields or an Academy or anything like that near you or a Rogers, you can go there and you're going to find them. But you can also go ahead and go to leupold.com, and we will
Sure.
sell all of our pro gear and apparel direct. So go to leupold.com. We've got all the sizes available, even for big fellows like me. We've got those. We've got the 3XLs. So get out there, and we'll get
Well,
everybody
and
out
show off the brand. Like, that's the thing about it. You have brand loyalty, you know what I mean, which is cool. So, uh, why not show it off? Like it's the same thing with us. Guys are excited about the decoys or the blinds or whatever we're making, and they wanna rep us and they wear the logo, and that's cool, and we appreciate it. So, when you're behind a brand, that's kind of what you do. You're proud of it, you know what I mean? And that's what's cool. You know what I mean? You're not gonna wear something, even if it's even if a t-shirt or hat, like you're just gonna not gonna rock that unless you're really behind it, and you're behind it for a reason. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, so everybody, please check out loophole.com. We'll get you set
Awesome.
up. Go get some final approach stuff. I know if you haven't had a chance to use it yet, if you're one of those long-time listeners, first-time caller types, to reference our friends at WIP. I know Mario's listened to WIP in his life. If you haven't had a chance to dive into the final approach brand, check it out. I've been using it since even before I knew Mario, and it's good stuff.
It goes way back. We go way back too on the waterfowl side. So yeah, we've been making some stuff. And listen, the thing that happened to us, not you guys, is the final approach. And you remember this, like, it was going for a while, it was killer, and then somebody else bought the brand and messed a couple things up. Then another company bought it and tried to keep going. And so, we got it back in 18, and we've been kind of, ripping since 18. But, you know, when I think of Final Approach, I think of like, 1995 or 98, or, those years when it's like if you didn't have an Eliminator Pro Guide, like if you didn't have an Eliminator layout blind, like you weren't killing geese. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't have that, like it was just the choice of serious waterfowl hunters. And that's one of the things that that's all that was on our mind when we got it back in 18, was to do that. Like, you guys haven't stuttered at all, right? You guys have been, keep the track, keep the premium, keep the brand, keep the message. Unfortunately, we kind of strayed off track. I wasn't there. None of us were there that are there now. So that's one of the things that I wanted to bring back, because that makes you proud of what you're putting out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't there isn't a product, and I'm sure you're the same way. There isn't a product that we make that I think is crap. You know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
I wouldn't put it up against anything in the market in that category. You know what I mean? So that being proud and that stuff, that means something. You know what I mean? To us who work in this industry and push really hard on, what we're making, what we're manufacturing, and what we're putting out to the public and what they're buying. Because, you know, one bad product, you know, listen, it's massive manufacturing. So sometimes shit happens. I will for sure say that. Like, somebody emails and goes, "Hey, I got a box of decoys. I got 6 decoys. I got 5 heads." Like, yes, shit happened. Like, I get it. So, but we back everything. So, I don't know. That's important. And I know that's important to you guys for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I just want to make sure your listeners know, because I've been out there and I've seen you do it. Everything that gets field tested by Mario before it goes to production, it's the equivalent of giving the grizzly bear the Yeti cooler, right? Like he just beats the holy hell out of it. So he is making sure it's going to
Brother,
work.
that's my job. And I got friends like you and James and Kevin and everybody that helps out.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but
Yeah, guys,
we're mostly there to make fun of you, but we'll help out too sometimes.
for sure. Yeah, guys, don't be nice to the stuff. Break it. Let's figure it out. For sure. All right, loophole.com if you want to go check out everything those guys got. Big shout out to everybody else, our partners, obviously Leupold, Rogers Sporting Goods. You can pick up a ton of listen, all the Leupold stuff we talked about. You can go right to Rogers and look at it. The guys from Weatherby and Federal Ammunition. We also are working with Dogtra this year, obviously to help Jet keep him as a good citizen. So that's another thing this year. If you want to check anything out from us, it's fabrand.com. Hit us up on social, like us, follow us, do all that and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you need anything else from us, hit us up. That's the FA podcast for today. Thanks, Skipper. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.